Imagine finding out that something you do every single day after eating, something you probably do because you think it helps you relax, helps you stay productive, or even helps your digestion, is quietly slowing your stomach down and trapping gas inside your body for hours without you realizing it. And the worst part is this. Most people never connect the symptoms back to the habit itself. They blame the bloating on getting older. They blame the tight stomach on the food they ate. They blame the acid creeping into their throat at night on stress. But what if the real problem is what happens in the first 30 minutes after the meal is already over? Because inside your digestive system, timing changes everything. Your stomach is not designed to instantly stop working the second you finish eating. The muscles lining your digestive tract are supposed to move food downward in a slow, coordinated rhythm. Your enzymes are supposed to activate in stages. Your abdomen is supposed to remain in a very specific position for digestion to happen correctly. But one extremely common after-meal habit interrupts that entire process. And when it does, food sits heavier. Gas builds faster. Acid rises higher. Pressure increases inside the abdomen. Digestion slows down. And over time, your body starts treating bloating like a normal daily condition instead of a warning sign. What makes this dangerous is how innocent the habit feels while you're doing it. Because millions of people are doing it tonight without realizing what it is actually doing inside their stomach. Here is what most people completely misunderstand about bloating. Bloating is not just too much gas. That swollen pressure in your stomach after eating is often a sign that food is no longer moving through your digestive system at the speed it was designed to. Your stomach begins emptying slower. Fermentation increases. Pressure builds upward instead of food moving downward. And the longer that pressure sits there, the more stress it places on the entire digestive tract. Now imagine repeating that process 2 or 3 times every single day for years. This is where the real damage begins. Because chronic post-meal digestive slowing does not stay confined to your stomach. The pressure pushes acid upward into the esophagus. The trapped gas stretches the intestinal walls. The stomach remains expanded longer than it should. Your body starts diverting energy toward digestion for hours at a time, which is why so many people feel exhausted, foggy, or sleepy after eating without understanding why. And if you are over 50, the problem becomes even more serious. Your digestive muscles are already naturally slowing with age. Your enzyme production is lower than it was 20 years ago. Your stomach acid balance changes, which means one small mistake after meals that your body tolerated easily at 30 can create hours of bloating, reflux, heaviness, and discomfort later in life. What makes this dangerous is how normal it has become. People finish eating, then immediately collapse onto a couch. Recline in bed, bend forward, drink ice-cold beverages, or start doing something that compresses the stomach right when digestion is trying to begin. And most never realize they are interrupting the most important phase of digestion before it even has a chance to work properly. Now, I want to show you why doctors who specialize in digestive health take post-meal habits far more seriously than most people realize. Because this is not just about temporary discomfort. Research published in gastroenterology journals shows that nearly 1 in 5 adults experience chronic bloating symptoms every single week. And the numbers climb sharply after age 50, when digestion naturally slows and stomach emptying becomes less efficient. But here is the part most people never hear. Studies on acid reflux and gastrointestinal disorders have found that body position immediately after eating dramatically changes how much stomach acid escapes upward into the esophagus. In some people, reclining after meals increases reflux episodes multiple times over compared to remaining upright. Multiple times over. And once reflux becomes chronic, the damage does not stop at heartburn. The acid repeatedly irritates the lining of the esophagus. Inflammation increases. Swallowing problems become more common. Sleep quality drops because acid reaches the throat while lying down at night. Some people even begin waking up coughing, choking, or with a sour taste in their mouth without realizing digestion is the cause. Now combine that with what happens to bloating itself. Digestive studies show delayed stomach emptying significantly increases gas retention and abdominal pressure after meals. That pressure pushes upward against the diaphragm, which is why many people describe feeling tightness in the chest, difficulty taking a deep breath, or uncomfortable fullness hours after eating. And if this cycle repeats daily, your digestive system never fully resets between meals. That is why some people feel bloated almost all the time now. Not because their stomach suddenly became sensitive, but because their digestion is constantly being interrupted at the exact moment it is supposed to work most efficiently. Now here is the good news. For many people, bloating and heavy digestion do not require some extreme diet, expensive supplement, or a complicated cleanse to improve. Sometimes the biggest difference comes from changing one simple thing during the first 20 to 30 minutes after eating. And when people make this adjustment correctly, the change can happen shockingly fast. Less pressure in the stomach. Less acid creeping upward. Less gas trapped after meals. Less heaviness sitting in the abdomen for hours. Some people even notice they stop feeling that overwhelming sleepiness after lunch once digestion is no longer being interrupted. Because your digestive system is incredibly responsive to positioning, movement, and timing immediately after meals. The body wants to digest efficiently. You just have to stop working against it. In a moment, I'm going to show you the exact after-meal habit that causes the biggest digestive slowdown in adults over 50, why millions of people accidentally do it every single night, and the simple replacement behavior digestive specialists often recommend instead. And one of the fixes sounds almost too small to matter. A short slow walk. Not exercise. Not cardio. Not getting your steps in. Just gentle movement at the correct time. Because studies have shown that even light walking after meals can help food move through the stomach more efficiently, reduce gas buildup, and lower the chances of acid pushing upward into the esophagus. But that is only one part of the story. Because another common after-meal habit is dramatically worse than people think. And if you are doing it right after dinner, it may explain why your bloating always feels worse at night. Let me walk you through the most important after-meal changes in order from least powerful to most effective because some help a little, while one completely changes how your digestion behaves. Starting at the bottom, solution number 4. Avoid tight waist pressure after eating. Most people never think about this one. But belts, tight waistbands, slouch sitting positions, or bending forward immediately after meals compress the stomach physically upward. That pressure forces gas and acid in the wrong direction. Looser posture alone can noticeably reduce bloating pressure after large meals. Helpful, but limited. Solution number 3. Stop drinking large amounts of ice-cold liquid immediately after eating. Cold drinks are not poison, but rapidly flooding the stomach with very cold fluid right after meals can slow gastric activity in sensitive people, especially adults over 50 whose digestion is already slower than it used to be. Small sips are fine, Large cold drinks immediately after heavy meals are where problems often begin. Now we move into the changes that make a dramatic difference. Solution number 2. Do not bend or recline for at least 30 to 45 minutes after eating. This is where millions of people accidentally sabotage digestion every night. They eat dinner, then immediately lie on the couch, recline in bed, or collapse backward in a chair while their stomach is still full. The moment the upper body drops backward, gravity stops helping digestion move downward efficiently. Acid rises easier. Pressure builds faster. Bloating becomes trapped. And finally, the number one most powerful habit: a slow walk immediately after meals. Not intense exercise. Gentle walking. Just 10 minutes of upright movement activates the digestive muscles naturally, helps food empty from the stomach more efficiently, reduces trapped gas, and lowers reflux pressure before it has a chance to build. Now let me show you the difference between the worst possible thing you can do after eating and the habit your digestive system actually wants from you. Worst first. You finish a large dinner. You feel full, heavy, maybe a little tired. So you sink backward into a soft couch, recline in bed, or lie flat scrolling on your phone. It feels comfortable. But inside your body, digestion has just become dramatically harder. Your stomach is now compressed backward instead of upright. Acid can move upward more easily. Gas becomes trapped higher in the abdomen. Food empties slower. Pressure builds against the lower esophageal valve that is supposed to keep stomach contents down where they belong. Then the symptoms begin: burping, bloating, chest pressure, burning in the throat. That sour taste later at night. Waking up uncomfortable hours after dinner. Now compare that to the exact opposite behavior. You finish eating, then stay upright. Not exercising hard. Not rushing to burn calories. Just standing, moving slowly, maybe walking gently around a block or through the house for 10 minutes. And the effect inside the body is completely different. Gravity now assists digestion instead of fighting it. The stomach empties more naturally downward. Gas moves through the intestines more efficiently instead of collecting upward. Abdominal pressure decreases instead of building. One habit traps digestion. The other supports it. And what is remarkable is how quickly people notice the difference once they stop lying down after meals. Many realize the normal bloating they accepted for years was not normal at all. It was simply their body struggling against the position that kept putting it in immediately after eating. So what is the single best thing you can do immediately after eating to reduce bloating and help digestion work properly? Stay upright and walk slowly for 10 to 15 minutes. That is it. Simple. But the reason it works is far more powerful than most people realize. Because digestion is not passive. Your stomach uses coordinated muscular contractions called peristalsis to slowly move food downward into the small intestine. At the same time, digestive enzymes are breaking food apart while the lower esophageal valve is trying to keep stomach acid sealed below the chest. And posture directly affects all of it. The moment you lie down or recline after eating, gravity stops assisting the digestive process. Pressure inside the stomach redistributes upward. Acid sits closer to the esophagus. Food remains pooled in the stomach longer. Gas rises and becomes trapped higher in the abdomen. But walking changes the entire mechanical environment of digestion. Gentle upright movement stimulates natural intestinal contractions. The abdominal muscles subtly activate and relax rhythmically. Food begins progressing downward more efficiently instead of stagnating. Gas moves through the digestive tract before pressure has time to build. And there is another benefit most people never hear about: blood sugar control. After meals, even light walking helps muscles absorb circulating glucose more efficiently, which reduces the massive energy crash many people feel after eating heavy meals. This is why so many people report feeling lighter, less sleepy, less bloated, and mentally clearer after simply walking slowly instead of collapsing onto a couch after dinner. The body was designed to stay gently upright after eating, not completely horizontal 5 minutes later. And if you make only one change after watching this video, make it this one. Because this tiny habit influences almost every major symptom people complain about after meals. Now let me show you the exact combination digestive specialists often recommend for reducing post-meal bloating naturally without medication. Because no single habit works as well as several small habits working together at the same time. Step 1. Finish eating before you feel completely stuffed. This matters more than people think. An overfilled stomach creates immediate internal pressure before digestion even begins. The fuller the stomach becomes, the easier it is for acid and gas to push upward once you recline or compress the abdomen. Step 2. Stay upright for at least 45 minutes after meals. Not rigidly standing, just upright. Sit tall, walk gently, move around the house, clean the kitchen slowly, or take a short walk outside. The goal is simple. Keep gravity helping digestion instead of fighting against it. Step 3. Walk slowly for 10 to 15 minutes after larger meals. Not fast enough to feel like exercise. Just enough movement to stimulate stomach emptying and help trapped gas move through the intestines before pressure builds. This is especially important after dinner, when people are most likely to recline immediately afterward. Step 4. Avoid bending forward or tightening the abdomen after eating. Even small things matter here. Slouching deeply into a couch, curling forward in bed, wearing tight waistbands, or lifting heavy objects immediately after meals all increase abdominal pressure exactly when digestion is most vulnerable. And finally, step 5. Leave at least 2 to 3 hours between dinner and lying flat for sleep. This one change alone dramatically reduces nighttime reflux and bloating for many adults over 50. Because digestion continues long after the meal ends. And when you give the stomach enough upright time to empty properly before bed, the entire digestive system works with far less strain through the night. Now, while bloating after meals is extremely common, there is something very important you need to understand. Persistent digestive symptoms should never automatically be dismissed as normal aging, because sometimes bloating is not just slow digestion. Sometimes it is your body warning you that something deeper is happening underneath. If your bloating is becoming progressively worse, happening after almost every meal, or no longer improving with simple changes in posture and meal timing, it is time to speak with a doctor. And there are several symptoms you should never ignore. Unexplained weight loss, difficulty swallowing, vomiting after meals, persistent nausea, black stools or visible blood, severe abdominal pain, chest pain that feels different from normal reflux, or waking up choking repeatedly at night because acid is reaching the throat. These symptoms require medical evaluation. Because conditions like severe acid reflux disease, stomach ulcers, gallbladder problems, delayed stomach emptying, hiatal hernias, food intolerances, And even certain cancers can sometimes begin with symptoms people initially describe as just bloating. And here is another thing many people overlook. Certain medications commonly used after 50 can also slow digestion dramatically. Blood pressure medications, some diabetes medications, pain medications, and even certain supplements can contribute to bloating, reflux, and constipation without people realizing the connection. That is why persistent symptoms deserve a proper conversation with a healthcare provider instead of years of guessing. Because digestion should not feel like a daily battle after every meal. Mild occasional bloating is common, but constant discomfort, constant pressure, or constant reflux is your body telling you something is no longer functioning the way it should. And the earlier the real cause is identified, the easier it usually is to improve. So tonight, after your next meal, I want you to try something different. Do not collapse onto the couch. Do not lie in bed scrolling on your phone. Do not immediately recline while your stomach is still full. Instead, stay upright. Walk slowly for 10 minutes. Move gently. Let your digestion finish the first stage of its job before you ask your body to lie flat. Because there is a very good chance you will feel the difference the very first night. Less pressure. Less heaviness. Less acid creeping upward into the chest or throat. Less bloating sitting in your stomach for hours before bed. And tomorrow morning, you may wake up realizing something surprising. That normal discomfort you accepted after meals for years was never actually normal. Your body was simply asking for better timing. That is what makes this so powerful. You are not forcing your digestive system to work harder. You are finally stopping yourself from interfering with it. And over time, these tiny decisions matter far more than people realize. Because digestion affects sleep. Sleep affects energy. Energy affects movement. Movement affects weight, blood sugar, inflammation, and long-term health. Small habits create massive quality of life changes when repeated consistently. Your stomach has been working for you every single day of your life without rest. The least you can do is give it the position and timing it needs to do its job properly. If this video helped you understand why bloating happens after meals, share it with someone who always complains about reflux, heaviness, or stomach pressure after eating, because there is a good chance they are making this exact mistake every single night without realizing it. Take care of your digestion now, and your body will thank you for it later.